All right, everyone. Andrew Yang is in and Tulsi Gabbard is out. It looks like Yang or Klobuchar. That's going to be the cutoff for the next Democratic debate. But Tulsi Gabbard is running at 0 or 1% in most polls at this point. Her campaign is dead. I realize that there are a handful of you out there, including on my channel, that like, ironically or unironically, Tulsi Gabbard either as a person or you like her platform in some meaningful respect. Or at the very least, and I'd admit this, she's more coherent than the rest of the Dems. Most of these people are dumb. Like Kamala Harris was dumb. She dropped out for a reason. Like, by the way, now that Kamala is out, why does Gabbard have a reason to go on? She outlasted Kamala Harris, who screwed her and stabbed her in the back and who got the DNC's kid glove handling treatment. The only other reason for Gabbard to be there is to hope to get into a debate to take down Elizabeth Warren for her various high crimes and misdemeanors. The DNC protected Warren before. It's obviously going to cut her mic if she goes after her in the next debate. So what Gabbard's done is say, well, I'm not going to make it to the debate because I'm obviously not going to be high enough in the polls. And she's already complained about the polling methodology. She's not entirely wrong. The Democrats are clearly screwing around with that to protect the top-tier candidates. We know this to be the case. They're fucking their own candidates over because they really want Biden or Warren. That's what they want. I think they'd even now settle for Bloomberg. They clearly don't want a leftist, a genuine leftist like Sanders, mainly because he would lose. And they definitely don't want somebody down ballot who can't generate a lot of charismatically based hardened support. Gabbard and Yang would not win. If they became nominees, they would not win the election. That's a guarantee. The problem is that they've landed with a thud for a reason. There's a reason that Gabbard's at 1% support. It isn't for lack of exposure. Because everyone constantly exposes whatever she says to every bit of political material that's posted online because her fans are so fervent. Which is to her benefit, by the way, at least insofar as that small group goes. So she has preemptively said, I won't show up even if I qualify, because she knows she won't qualify. This is a win-win. This is a win-win because she knows she's going to be sidelined. The DNC's not going to let her debate. So it makes her look strong. Strength out of weakness. She's a weak candidate. She's polling at less than 1% in the aggregate. She won't get invited to the debate. There's a 99% chance of that because the DNC's fucking around with the polls too. So she just says she won't show up. So it makes her look stalwart to her fans. It makes her look like the outsider, so she can keep the can kicking down the road. What she should be doing is running a 24-hour nonstop attack on Elizabeth Warren. She clearly is the only person in the Dem field other than Buttigieg that's willing to go after other candidates. Other than Kamala briefly, and she lost because she did it improperly. Buttigieg is the only other person that ever really goes negative to any great degree. It's basically him and Gabbard. None of the others. Yang sits there and cries and rambles about free money. Warren sits there and says big structural change over and over. She reminds me now of Al Gore. She's robotic. By the way, she'd never win against Trump. Bernie Sanders is an old has-been fucking hippie. I keep trying to find some Bernie Sanders fan. I guess Humanist Report wants to still debate, but he hasn't gotten back to me in a while. I tried to say to Amazing Atheist, hey, why don't we have it out on this issue? Because I think he's still on the Bernie bus, expects him to be the next president. I think it'd be hilarious to force him to defend that position. You got like Biden, front runner. He's running at 30 most of the time. He's seemingly inevitable. The Biden inevitability has never still been challenged. Everyone who could challenge him has already had their day in the sun and been knocked back down. Buttigieg because Bloomberg blocked him. Harris is out. Warren is 10 points below where she was at peak. Bernie Sanders arguably spiked early, and even if you assume that he hasn't, his aggregated total is in the mid to upper teens, 10 points fucking below where Joe Biden is. There's no anti-Biden left. There's nobody left to accomplish that other than Bloomberg, who has such low approval. Everyone hates him so fucking much, it's impossible for him to ever rise up. It'd be funny to see what happens. Only a big change in Iowa and New Hampshire can stop Biden at this point. Once the first 4 states are through, we'll know whether he's the presumptive nominee or not. Well, Tulsi Gabbard, poor little Tulsi, she's been so poorly treated. No, the thing is the DNC can screw you over insofar as the debates and polls, but the fact is your polling's been low anyway. It's just like with Andrew Yang. People complain about his microphone. People complain about him being mistreated by the legacy media. Dude, Bernie bros do this. The maverick and branded as maverick candidates keep complaining about how they're being mistreated. Many of their complaints are bullshit. Because there are people up ballot that make the same. Elizabeth Warren complains about Zuckerberg mistreating her. Joe Biden complains about people talking about Hunter Biden too much and how this is mistreating him. All it is a fucking pity party from these losers all the time because they're all losers. There's a packed field. Nobody has a mandate yet. They're looking at Trump. Trump's gaining approval. Trump looks like he knows what's going on and he's still coherent to the extent that someone who goes off script every 10 minutes can be coherent. He's going to win. That's what's probably going to happen, and it pisses these people off because they think if only the rest of the field were gone, it'd be so easy. If only the Democrats weren't ripping each other apart like a pack of starving wolves, it'd be easy to beat Trump. He's not very popular. That may be true, but the thing is, because of that, it drew a bunch of lesser candidates in, and now they're fucking whining, including Tulsi Gabbard and Andrew Yang and all these other bullshitters. It's funny when people on the right still have a hard-on for Tulsi Gabbard because she manages to be under 40 while being female. Wonderful, okay, yeah, she surfs and it's like adorable or some shit. If you look at her actual views, she's a complete far-left sellout. She initially stood on her principles, said, well, I don't think it's time to impeach, but she totally jumped shark on that one. You look at firearms, she's about the furthest left you can possibly get in the Democratic field. She does apparently believe in giving, free shit to people who aren't even citizens or residents of the United States. Her platform's not that different from the rest of them. She just happens to look better while delivering it. This is the booty judge advantage, too. You could argue that of Yang. He's on the younger side for a candidate. Looks better for the cameras. Julian Castro's still trying to make himself relevant. He's like, damn, I was this, sort of youngish dude, sort of Obama-esque. I got in early and yet I still landed with a thud. That's because nobody fucking likes your pandering. Independent voters aren't going to get behind whoever is the Dem nominee, I think, at this point. That ship is fast sailing because the Democrats keep going further and further left. Now they've gotten to the point where they want to nullify the 2016 election. That's not just a Republican talking point. That's basically what it is. It's been alluded to by AOC herself. The far leftists have already alluded to the fact that they expect to lose 2020 if they don't impeach Donald Trump. That's basically all it's a fucking about, and all of these people support that. The handful of holdouts, Gabbard and Biden and a few of the others that sort of waffled around on us have all jumped on board the impeach Trump orange man bad thing. Biden especially, very notably Joe Biden has done this. He's probably handicapped his ability to grow a larger general election coalition if he is nominee. Tulsi Gabbard, she's not going to get into the debate even if I qualify. I'm going to take my toys and go home. I'm being mistreated by the DNC. Cry me a goddamn river. You got into the race knowing the DNC is fucking crooked. The Democrats can do whatever the fuck they want with their primaries. It is a corporation. No, they don't want some under 40 candidate with almost no political experience to go up against a juggernaut like Trump who's still largely self-funded. No shit. I wouldn't want you to face off against him either. It wouldn't matter if I agreed with your platforms. You'd still lose. He would chew and spit out Tulsi Gabbard. He would chew up and spit out Andrew Yang. These people have never been viable. The one smart thing Bloomberg has said in his whole miserable life is that he looked at the Dem field and said, well, Trump would completely destroy these people, so I decided to get in. The latter part of that's dumb. The first part of it's true. What he should have done is take all of his money. He should have taken his $10 billion or whatever he's worth and bet it all on Trump in some Thai brokered market so that he could double his money when he wins. Then he'd be twice as rich. Bloomberg, apparently he's too demented to realize he could pull that off. And when you have that much money, of course, he can make sure that the officials that would look into you gambling on a U.S. election look the other way. Oh, I don't know where that extra money came from, dude. Some Thai person gave it to me. Someone in Cambodia who owns an internet forum. Bloomberg should have done that instead. It would have been more worthy of his time. Look, he's running at 4.5. Gabbard's running below 1% in a lot of the polls. Even if you were to uncook the polls, like even if the Democrats were using the whole slew of polls aggregated by RCP, she would still not be at 3% in virtually all of them. She's running at 0 or 1 in most of the polls where she's even mentioned. She should drop out. Look, you made your point. You helped destroy Kamala Harris. You outlasted that goofball that constantly breathed down her neck. You made all of her fans mad. Good on you. They deserve it because they were morons. I don't know who they're backing. It doesn't look like they flocked to anyone in particular in the polls. This is great for Biden because he was probably worried Elizabeth Warren would wine and dine him more heavily. Gabbard should drop out. The entire lower half of the field, anyone below Yang or arguably Klobuchar at this point shouldn't even be in. They should be cut out of the polling. Most of these people have already peaked. Some of their peaks were at 3 or 4 points. It's like a Beto O'Rourke story over and over again. You can't expect that someone who's been in the race, unknown, unloved, running on a skeleton crew campaign with $10 in their pocket is going to have their moment without getting into the debates. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter how much online exposure they get. There's still a debate structure that a lot of normie Americans pay attention to. The Democrats disproportionately are the normies. They're the soccer mom party. They're the NIMBY party. They're the party of moralistic, hand-wringing suburbanites. The Republicans have absorbed all the cool people at this point for the most part. That's about all. Peace out.